Hello again.
Hey!
We are back for episode number dos of Hawaii, the ups and downs of tourism. I may or may not have blanked on the name.
Forgetting
for 2
your
seconds.
own podcast name?
It's
crazy.
also the name of my paper, so
okay.
that's really bad. The lovely voice you hear is Elena again.
Hi!
She is back and raring to go.
And maybe with the flu this time.
She thinks she has the flu. Nobody else thinks she has the flu. But we are sitting like 8 feet apart across from each other on beds again, so
True.
I won't get it. Abby's gonna get it. Abby's also here, right next to Elena on Elena's bed.
Hi!
Second
special guest.
Special guest. Abby, what's your middle name?
Regina.
Abigail Regina Paranovich. Okay.
You're just government naming us on the pod.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's get started, shall we?
We shall.
Okay. So last episode was a little bit of history about Hawaii and tourism. Now we're going to talk about some current issues, and the debate will be next episode. I just gestured as if you could see me, but that's okay. So, we're going to start with the effects on the environment. I have 2 specific examples for this. These are leaning more towards the negatives, but keep, neutrality in your mind, just so you can form your own opinion, because I will be giving some positives as well. So, the first example is quite upsetting to me. It's about coral reefs. I love a coral reef. They're gorgeous, and not only that, but they also provide a lot of housing for very valuable fish, valuable to the ecosystem, and they create biodiversity, which is really important.
On my Hawaii trip, we snorkeled with turtles, but I was too afraid to do it, and my grandfather's diabetic, so he can't swim, with his pump. So we stayed on the boat and threw food to the turtles when we were in Hawaii, so.
So she's part of the problem.
We snorkel a lot, and we're always very careful about, proper reef protection.
Well, let's talk about some things that affect the coral reefs. So one thing is the not-so-careful snorkelers either accidentally breaking coral or taking pieces of it home, which is, I'm sorry, but it's stupid. Because not being in the salt water, it dies and it loses its color anyway. Accidentally breaking it, obviously that's an accident. Another accidental way that coral can be harmed and bleached, which is really sad, is non-coral, non-reef safe sunscreen.
We're very aware of that one. We try to be anyway.
Elena's family did the right.
Yeah. Gotta do your
way.
research.
Anyway, so the other more obvious way of polluting is if you take garbage on the boat that you're going snorkeling on or just onto the beach and you lose it in the ocean.
It's a bad one.
That is a bad one. Everyone knows that happens sometimes. So that's the gist of the coral reef issues. So without coral reefs, a lot of fish lose their homes, and a lot of other sea life lose their homes as well, which is really bad, because then they don't have protection from predators and species can die out. So yeah. The other environmental issue is another form of losing habitats, because while tourism is growing, there's more need for hotels and attractions, which means more construction and deforestation. So this is basically just getting rid of all animals' homes, pretty much.
I'm shaking my head.
Because so many animals live in forests or just need the protection of trees. So deforestation is a really big issue. But it's kind of a weird in between, because obviously if incoming people don't have housing, that's an issue for them, which humans are animals. That's a different issue for our species. But it's an even bigger issue for the animals that are like native to the islands. Other ways that the animals and plants are harmed, if they're being like taken away, like species are dying, that harms other species where their population can either grow or become extinct if the food that they eat is gone. The final issue with the animals and plants is tourists, once again, coming and touching animals that they should not be touching, or feeding them what they're not supposed to eat.
I feel as though I have violated this one.
Yes, this one might have been an issue.
My stories have incriminated me.
What were you feeding the turtle?
I really have no idea.
Was it something given to you, or was it something that you
I'm
had?
sure my grandfather was snacking on something and just tossing it in there.
Okay, yeah. That's not the best move. And his grandpa's part of the problem. And like going and petting like dolphins specifically, that's a big example in Hawaii. That causes them a lot of stress, which just honestly kills them faster than normal. So those are all the environmental factors. Now we're switching to the economy. This is on the more positive side because the Hawaiian economy is stimulated by tourism.
Woohoo!
So they really need it. That's actually something that they kind of just found out about because of the 2023 West Maui wildfires. Due to the wildfires, lots of people stopped coming to Hawaii out of obviously respect for their healing process, but that made them lose like 15% of their revenue throughout the whole island, which is really not good.
No.
It made lots of people lose their jobs because a lot of Hawaiian natives are working in the tourism industry now because they're losing other jobs, such as like growing crops and selling those. They've had to switch into the tourism industry, and without tourists, they don't make any money.
That's sad.
It is sad. One of the other issues, like in the Hawaiian economy, is whether visitors should be taxed like a visitor tax, because it takes a lot of money from the Hawaiian government to upkeep the tourism economy, because it takes a lot to maintain hotels and attractions and keep the wildlife as safe as they can.
Is that something like the federal government could step in to like help?
They fund a lot of the construction projects already.
Mm-hmm.
Not the federal. Well, the federal government does fund some. Most of them are like Hawaii's like little government.
Right.
But since a lot of the tourist money goes back to the government, they probably should step in and try and help. But
Right.
I don't think they're going to. I think they're just kind of leaving it up to the Hawaiian natives, which is rude.
Yeah.
So those are sort of the positives and negatives of the economy. The final part of this episode is how culture is being affected. Right now, again, I don't know if I'm saying it right, but the Kanaka Maoli, ?
Mm-hmm.
They're really fighting for the ability to keep their culture and represent it in the right way, because a lot of their culture is being whitewashed. A big example of this is the luau, which is just not.
We partook in one when I was there. Me and my sister had matching justice outfits
Of course.
with like tie-dye skirts.
Of course. Did they have a pig roasting?
I'm sure.
Yeah, that's not like really a thing. That they like, not in that way at least. And like the luau, like the dances and such, those are supposed to be more of like a cultural celebration, and they kind of changed them into a spectacle, which a lot of natives are not happy with. The second example is the word aloha, which is a lot of non-natives say it as like hello and goodbye. Not what that means.
Really?
Really. It's a phrase that's supposed to mean a way of living with positive energy, peace, and connection.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So it's supposed to be more like a feeling and like a way to stay connected to each other and to your culture. But once again, whitewashed into hello and goodbye, which is quite sad. That's like a big part of their culture being taken away. Everyone say goodbye to our special guest, Abigail Predovich.
Bye, guys. I gotta go do my laundry.
Bye
So
bye.
long, Abigail.
So, that's pretty much the brief run through of the positives and negatives of tourism in Hawaii. Next episode, we're going to talk about some opinions on whether you should still visit or not, because it's kind of up in the air. But besides that, I think we're done for the day. Do you want to say goodbye, Elena?
Yeah, again, thank you so much for having me. Like I said last time, I think this is important for us to be talking about. So,
So we'll see you in the next episode.
bye.